One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. The ring must be destroyed. The ring is mine, Sam.
It was the fate, man. My precious, my precious, my precious.
Welcome to another episode of When I Met a Celebrity! With the announcement of the Lord of the Rings 4K Extended Edition Blu-rays coming out next month. Sounds like it'll be a perfect Christmas present in some households. And it's time for me to share the time I spoke to Elijah Wood and Sean Astin. When I was a kid, one movie I really loved was The Adventures of Huck Finn. This movie was a blast from start to finish. So adventurous, the young boy Huck Finn is just full of adventure and joy. It was such a delight to see, and it took years and years and years for me to finally see it again on TV because it wasn't airing on TV for a very long time. The DVD is worth it, and I think the movie is on Disney Plus now, so if you don't have a hard copy of the movie, you can watch it on Disney Plus. I think you can buy it on Vudu too. Later I saw the movie Rudy, and Rudy is such a wonderful picture. One of my favorites actually. My favorite sports movie ever. A true story about the real Dan Rudy Rudiger portrayed by Sean Astin and his struggle to play college football for Notre Dame. Such a great movie. After Lord of the Rings, Sean Astin made some TV shows. Elijah Wood made some TV shows too. And another movie Elijah became well known for was Sin City. Interesting take on corrupt cities in a film noir style. But we all know what Elijah Wood and Sean Astin are best known for. The Lord of the Rings. These three movies are some of the greatest movies ever made. Definitely on my favorite movies list. Full of great effects, big battle scenes, great story told across three pictures. I never liked it when people called Two Towers and Return of the King sequels to The Fellowship, because Lord of the Rings feels like one story split into three parts, much like Star Wars. Even the American Film Institute, when they released their list of 100 Years, 100 Movies 10th Anniversary Edition, they only included Fellowship of the Ring, despite nominating all three movies for their list. I think they should have put all three movies on their list, or if they're going to just put one movie, why not put Return of the King on the list? Everyone says Return of the King was the best one. I say that too. I was in middle school when the movies were releasing, and since I had yet to read the books, I decided to read the books before seeing the movies. Bought the first book and the second book, and then I had a neighbor who was kind enough to just give me the third book. That neighbor was always like a big brother to me. Then, as you can see, I have a Lord of the Rings themed bookmark above the books, and that's where this ring came in. Great riveting stories. Definitely needs three books in order to tell this big long story. Of course, there are other editions where the entire three books are in one big book. But I remember how exciting it was when these movies were releasing and they had these books like right in front when you walked into the bookstore. And it was so exciting to just hold the books in your hands and look through the pages. There's no pictures, but it was exciting. And then buying the books and then reading them at home. Just, you can't get enough of it. None of these movies ever felt too long. I had a few friends who said the movies were too long. Even some of my film classmates said that Lord of the Rings was too long. And I say, absolutely not. These movies were just the right amount of running time. Friends also complained that The Return of the King had too long of an ending, and I say absolutely not. After a big, long, epic journey like that, the movie needed that half-hour ending. We needed that to see where everybody was going after such a great journey with all these characters that we care so much about. How can we not have an ending like that? We gotta have that ending. Then came the time I spoke to Elijah Wood and Sean Astin. Elijah Wood was really quick. Sean Astin, I had more of a conversation with him. Did you see my video on how I met Matt Damon? I might redo that video, but if you've seen it, this is actually connected to that story. At San Diego Comic-Con 2012, I was in line for the Hall H panels. The line was so long it stretched to behind the convention center, and I still got into that Sony panel later on to meet Matt Damon when he promoted Elysium. While I was waiting in line in the back of the convention center. A few actors were walking by. I think they were promoting the show Wilfred. Elijah Wood was walking by. So I see him and I'm smiling at him, and a few audience members are saying, it's Elijah Wood, it's Elijah Wood. So I just decide, he's walking by me and he knows I have my hand out for him. He smiles, he reaches out and he goes, yep, he shakes hands with me. And then he keeps walking. And I'm like, yes, Elijah Wood shook hands with me. Elijah Wood shook hands with me. Yes, yes. Elijah, Mr. Frodo, Mr. Frodo. And Huck Finn, and that weird psycho from Sin City. The next day, Sean Astin was doing an autograph booth, and I just got to briefly speak with him. And I got to tell him, Sean, I love your movies. And the movie Rudy made me want to play football. And Sean Astin said, I'm glad that helped you. And then, of course, I told him I love Lord of the Rings as well. These Lord of the Rings movies, they seem timeless. You know, a lot of movies, they use too much CG. Lord of the Rings uses a lot of CG, and it uses the CG properly. And since the story is so epic, the CG works. Do you plan to buy the 4K editions, whether on Blu-ray disc or digitally? What do you think of Lord of the Rings? Are they some of your favorite movies ever? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section. Like and share if you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to me for more videos. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of uploads. I'm making more videos for you and bigger projects for you as we speak. Have a great week and a great life, and always love yourself for who you are. And destroy that ring.